podcast. I am your host, Cosmic Waters. May my words inspire you and remind you to remain true to you as you walk authentically in your truth, dripping self-love and unapologetically choosing you. Hello, naked truthers. Welcome back. So, I know I said this week we would dive into the pleasure aspects and the kinks and the fetishes, but we're going to come back to that. Something else came to mind that I would love to dive into with you guys. So, first and foremost, I want to say a shout out to everybody that listens to me all over the world. Shout out to my listeners, of course, in the U.S. Shout out to my listeners in India, in Russia, in Sweden, in Spain, in Australia. Shout out to you, no matter wherever you're listening to. Much gratitude. Now, let's dive into the juiciness of this title. So, this is inspired, right, by a room I was in on Clubhouse earlier, and it was dealing with astrology and Chiron and where it sits in your chart, and basically, turning your pain into your power, the value of your wounding. Now, for those of you that may not be familiar with Chiron, it is an asteroid, and it's known as the wounded healer, right? And so what sign it's in and where it falls in your chart basically tells you your wounds in this lifetime, what you're dealing with, what you pretty much need to heal from, and what you have experienced in your life, especially going back to your childhood days, right? So that's a brief synopsis. I would recommend, if you haven't already, look up Chiron. It's Chiron. Look it up and dive a little bit deeper into it. And if you feel led to, even go as far as pulling up your astrological chart and seeing where it falls, right? What sign it resides in and where in your chart. What house is it sitting in? And then dive a little deeper, or maybe even reach out to a dope-ass astrologer and have them dive into that for you. Right, just so you can get a better understanding of it. Matter of fact, I am working on a collab with some astrologers. I do have one that I have reached out to so far that is down to come on the podcast with me and just dive into all things astrology, right? So stay tuned for that. I so look forward to it. I do believe that astrology is important. However, I will say this: it is a tool to help you grow, to help you elevate, to help you get a better understanding of yourself and who you are and your habits, your patterns, the way that you navigate the world, right? But it is not something that is used to justify the way in which you choose to be or treat others. What do I mean by that? So, a lot of times you'll hear people say, oh, well, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm supposed to be this way and I'm supposed to act this way and da-da-da-da, right? And you're like, nah, don't use your astrological chart and your placements as an excuse to not heal, to not grow, to not elevate, to be a fucked up ass person. That is what I mean. So yes, it is very useful in helping you grow and transcend your chart. You don't have to be stuck within the confines of the astrological signs and placements. Use them to your advantage to elevate. Now, moving on. So, in diving into Chiron, as I was listening to this room, and shout out to Vante, He is a dope ass astrologer. He has a business called Astro Legacy. And if you're on Clubhouse, or if you're not on Clubhouse, still check him out. He holds really dope rooms on Clubhouse, and he dives deep, and he will hand you all your shit on a gold platter and tell you to go dissect it and learn about yourself. So shout out to him. But during his room, I basically was listening and observing and learning about myself from two spectrums. So in astrology, most of the time people only know about one birth chart, which is the tropical side, right? Using the Placidus system. And so this time, as I sat there and I listened, I also pulled up my chart from the sidereal side of the game, right? And in sidereal, some things change a little bit as far as like my placements goes, right? And so in this particular chart, it changed the sign in which my Chiron fell in. Same house, but it changed the sign. And so it gave me another look, another perspective into myself from a different lens. And man, when I tell you, it was so spot on and just very enlightening. And so I listened, and then I merged the two together. And I was like, okay, tell me about myself. Yes. And so I was made aware today of a lot of the shit that I do or have done or have experienced, right? And it was just a really beautiful experience. And so the title of this is about perfection, right? Being a perfectionist, breaking free from the curse of perfectionism. That is something that I deal with, right? Everything has to be fucking perfect. It just has to be right. And I learned why. And one of the reasons is where my Chiron falls, which is in the 6th house, right? And the 6th house is ruled by Virgo, right? And so it's all about the details, and it deals with that element of being perfect, right? It's like that OCD, anal kind of energy, right? And of course, the 6th house dives into health and work and a whole bunch of other things, right? So I'm not really giving y'all the whole recipe of what the 6th house consists of, but I just want to dive into just how enlightening this was for me, and then dive into, freeing yourself from this perfectionist energy, right? Now, don't get me wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting things to be quality, wanting things to be right, wanting things to, be of standard, right? But at the same time, when you are at this level of where everything has to be perfect to now where it's sabotaging your life and what you do and how you act and how you live, and it's stressing you the fuck out, and you just like it becomes detrimental, right? And then it's like, damn, it's feeling like no matter what you do, nothing is ever good enough, and it's feeling like, no, I need to do this again, and you do it over and over and over, and you become frustrated, and you become disappointed within yourself. And you could have done a damn good job, but you felt like it could have been better, right? And now you're disappointed within yourself, with your performance. And it's just like, man. And that's a heavy weight to carry. It's a heavy burden to carry. And so I'm creating this in this moment to tell you to free yourself. And as I talk to y'all, I'm talking to me. Free yourself. Free yourself from the burden of having to be perfect, of having everything to be fucking right? Of having to feel like what you do is not enough, because it is, and who you are is more than enough, right? And how this plays out in my life, if, get a little transparent, let y'all in a little bit. So when it comes to creating content, when I create videos, I'm not the kind of person that can just record a video once, right? Unless I just get it right on the first time. And right is according to what my standards of right is. But it has to be right for me. The background has to be right. The lighting has to be right. Everything has to be right. The sound, the music. Like, I don't like a lot of noise in my background when I create. It just has to be right. The way I show up on camera, it just has to be upheld to a certain standard that I hold myself up to, right? And it's just like, okay, no, do it over. Or it's like, take one, take two. Okay, I don't really care for this. Let's do it again, right? Oh no, something was wrong. And it could be like the littlest shit. And I will make myself create again. And like I said, it begins to become frustrating because now a 5-minute video turned into a whole motherfucking hour of a project. And it doesn't have to. And even down to my podcast, like the trailer that's on here, it took me forever to make that trailer. What am I going to say? How am I going to say it? How am I going to convey this message in 50 seconds? Or I think it might be 55 seconds. How am I going to do it? How? Right? I recorded that one trailer piece like 10 times before I was like, okay, I think I'm happy with it. And even my intro, which I'm going to record as I, talk about this, but it's low. Like, my voice is actually lower than what I would like it to be, and I want it to be a little bit louder. But at the same time, my other side of me is like, yo, fuck it, just let it be, right? And it's just like the nitpickiness that I do to myself, right? It's being your own worst critic energy, right? That inner saboteur, that being your own inner me. Your own enemy is the inner me, right? I am my biggest enemy. And when you feel like you have to be so fucking perfect, you don't allow yourself to truly be who you are. You don't allow yourself to live, to enjoy. No. And if I'm being honest, it's like that feeling of perfectionism comes from because you feel like you can't mess up. You feel like you can't be wrong out of fear of rejection, out of judgment, out of criticism, out of the opinions of others. And hell, the opinions of your damn self, right? And then so when you dive deeper into that and you look to like, well, damn, where did this come from? Where did this start? What did I experience in my childhood years or throughout my life that makes me feel like I can't mess up or I can't make a mistake? Or like I have to be so pristine and clean and like no errors, right? And it's just like, man, allow yourself to breathe, right? Because when you live in this area of life so pressed about being perfect, that comes with a lot of tension. Like your body is tense, right? And so in this moment, I'm telling you to breathe, take that deep breath and allow yourself to exhale and release it all. Relax your shoulders, your jaw. Relax the body and begin to just breathe, right? Resetting your nervous system, letting your body and yourself know that you are safe and it is okay to be human and explore and mess up and not be perfect and not feel like you have to be squeaky clean or not feel like you have to uphold some fucking image. Fuck that shit. Be you, right? And so as I listened in that room today, it was just like permission. Me finally giving myself the permission to be free of worrying about being perfect, of having everything right. Right? And this is not an excuse to halfway show up in life. That is not what I'm saying. That is like the other extreme, right? But it's just saying, yeah, you can do things of quality and not stress yourself the fuck out over it and not feel like it wasn't good enough, right? You did your best and that is what matters. You showed up and that is what matters. You put your all into it, that is what matters. And you don't have to beat yourself up over it. And whoever's voice is in your head telling you to do it over and do it again and that's not good enough, release that voice from you too, right? Whether it was your mother, your father, whoever, a sibling, whoever was close to you, whoever raised you, whoever played a big part of your life, right? Release that voice from your mind, okay? and begin to listen to your own voice and begin to comfort and console that part of you, and let yourself know that you are indeed good enough, and the work that you do is enough, and you don't have to be perfect, and you can let your hair down, right? And you could take off the uniform. I don't know, I get uniform vibes when I think about this, but you could take off the mask, right? You can be you and allow yourself to show up as you, right? It's about getting naked. And when I say naked, I'm not necessarily talking about physically, but naked within shedding the labels, the titles, the images, whatever you feel you have to live up to, the expectations, getting naked that way, shedding that skin, shedding those masks or whatever roles you have been playing, and truly allowing yourself to show up as the true you, right? It's okay if you fuck up. Just learn from the lesson and don't keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. Because what we don't want to do is go into cycles, right? And even then, if you do, hell, the lesson just going to come back and you're just going to get hit harder the next time. But learn the lesson so that you don't keep repeating the same habits and the same patterns and the same thoughts, right? And one of the things that I realized, with me is, if we dive a little bit deeper into this feeling like I have to be perfect energy, right? And so what I was telling them on Clubhouse is that I felt like when it comes to me teaching, because I've been led and just feeling called to teach, and I know so much shit. Like even in the Clubhouse rooms, they were saying how I'm a hoarder of information, right? And I know a lot of stuff, and I dabble in this, that, and the third, and it's just like, whoa, right? I do my research, I share some stuff, other things I kind of just keep to myself because I'm like, no, I gotta know more before I share it, right? Feeling like everything has to be perfect before I tell myself or consider that I'm a teacher, right? And so it's been holding me back from sharing my wisdom, from sharing my experiences, from sharing what I do know now in this moment, because we are always growing and evolving if that's the choice that we make, right? And so it was just so freeing, because I'm like, yes, I actually can share this, and I actually can teach about this, and I actually can allow myself now to step into that role or that essence of teacher energy, right? To embody me being a teacher. People see that in me, and then I won't even honor it within myself. And it's making me hold myself back because I feel like I have to be a certain kind of way or a certain kind of teacher, or have all my ducks in a row and all my I's dotted and all my T's crossed. And it's a hindrance, not only to myself, but the information I could be putting out there to help somebody else. The messages that I could be speaking and saying and sharing that can pull somebody from the deep end, that can be the light bulb moment, the awakening, the seed planter, right? The epiphany, the change, right? That can be that inspiration for people. And it's like, you know what? Yes, hell yeah. I give myself permission to indulge and step into the role of the teacher, right? I give myself the permission to do so because I have been holding myself back. I'm no longer going to hold me back. Fuck being perfect, right? I'm just going to allow what flows how it chooses to flow, because I am also a channeler. I am the messenger, and I receive messages from the spirit. And when I'm in that moment of simply receiving and I surrender and I allow shit to flow, it just comes out and it flows so easily. And I'm not fucking worried about being perfect, right? And so that is what I'm going to embody and just simply be who I am at my core, right? And not look at the word teacher and feel like I have to live up to a certain version of whatever teacher means to whoever. No, it's just simply being, simply sharing my wisdom, my knowledge, my experience, my divine messages, whatever the case may be. And so that is another way in which, I have been holding myself back in regards to feeling like I need to be perfect. Fuck it, we're just gonna go all the way out. Just let y'all all the way in. And so what else have I been holding myself back from doing? Publishing a book, my poetry book. And I've mentioned this a few times on Facebook, and I haven't done it. I have a shitload of poems. I've written short stories before. I have a self-love book in my brain that I have not typed up or put to paper yet. And it's like, no, well, I can't do this yet, because in order for me to be an author, A, B, and C, in order for me to publish my book 1, 2, 3, in order for me to begin doing this, I need that, and I can't move forward if I don't. And it's just all this shit that is holding me back. Instead of me just taking the first step and doing it, I'm so worried about, just having everything together. And I'm like, if you don't ever start, you're just always going to be stagnant and then stuck as energy waiting for the right moment. And there is never a right moment, if we're being honest. Sometimes you literally just got to go. That moment is the right moment right here in the now. Not when you have this or if you do this, right? Putting the future into it, because it stops you. And sometimes all it takes is for you to open that door for yourself and put your foot, your best foot forward and take those steps. And then everything begins to come to you. Everything begins to come together. If you needed some assistance, those people begin to show up. Those resources begin to show up. It just all begins to fucking flow. Right? And so, as you listen to me talk, I want you to ask yourself this question. What have you been holding yourself back from doing? How has this energy of the perfectionist held you back? What have you beat yourself up over? Right? What do you feel like wasn't enough? What are you stopping yourself from releasing to the world or sharing with the world because you feel like it's not good enough yet, or it needs to marinate a little bit more? Right? And just think about it. And when have you truly allowed yourself to simply just breathe? Breathe. Because like I said, that perfectionist energy is almost like holding your breath. Because if you breathe too hard, oh no, something might happen. Hey, seriously. And so, in this moment, as I free myself, I encourage you to free yourself too. And simply just be and flow freely. And that free spirit life, I honor and I cherish. And I do walk within it. However, just like I've been telling y'all, I deal with my shit too. I have my shit. I do my shadow work behind the scenes, and then I come back and I share it with y'all. And this is one of the things that I really do got to get a handle on. And I have grown, and I have been working on it. And today did show me some areas that do need some more improvement, right? And I'm grateful. It was so beautiful of an experience to really hear. And whoever made you feel like you had to be perfect, let it go. Let them go. And begin to live for you. Begin to live your life for you. Not for your moms, not for your pops, not for your grandparents, not to uphold a family name or a family image, not because they were a doctor and they want you to be a doctor, or they was a lawyer, now they want you to walk in their footsteps, or they want you to uphold the family business, but you really want to be a painter, you really want to be an author, you really want to be a musician, right? You really just want to work on the spiritual side of things and help people holistically. Do what the fuck you want to do and free yourself from the constraints and the shackles, the handcuffs, and everybody else's shit. Free your motherfucking self. And I have to say this again. Just breathe. Just fucking breathe. Deep breath. And release. that simple, right? All it does is require you to make a choice, honestly. I've made my choice. Have you made yours? And then following through and holding yourself accountable for that. And then also tapping into your thoughts, your processing, and that voice within your head and your programming within your mind, and the repetition and getting into that, into your thoughts and the record that's on repeat within your mind. Breaking that shit and wiping the slate clean and beginning to tell a new story, right? I can show up in this world as myself and not have to worry about being perfect, right? I'm good enough as I am. And all that comes for me is already greatness in my eyes. And fuck who don't see it as greatness. Because I'm not here to live my life for anyone else. I'm not here to have anyone live through me vicariously. I'm not here to please anyone. I'm not here to live up to society's explanation of what success is or who I have to be according to gender or age or status, right? Fuck all of that. All of it. Every last fucking piece of it. And just be you. Okay? So that is my message. That's all I wanted to say. And I've said a lot. And as I embrace this new journey of mine, I want to say congratulations to yourself for even clicking on this and listening this far, right? And share the word. Share it with somebody, right? And congratulate yourself, you know? Be proud of you and the growth that you take towards your healing and elevation and becoming a better person. I'm proud of you. Be proud of you too, right? And this is coming to my brain right now, so I'm going to say it. You are not a disappointment. You never were. Don't worry about disappointing anybody, right? Even yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Have compassion and grace and patience for yourself. And if you say, well, how do I do that? Think about the way you handle children. If you are a child lover, let me make that clear. And how you would talk to a crying child, right? Your voice changes, it gets softer, you become loving, right? You have patience, you meet them with compassion and grace, right? Be that way to yourself, right? Instead of being so hard and harsh and judgmental to yourself, okay? But you are not a disappointment. You aren't. And I'm hearing your voice matters. So begin to speak and begin to share, alright? And know that you can get started. Don't let anything or anyone hold you back. And that's including money, right? Don't let what you think you don't have hold you back. And I already told y'all the story of how I wanted to start a podcast 4 years ago, but I let the fact that I didn't have a microphone hold me back. I still don't have a fucking microphone, and I'm at, 23 episodes? I think this is 24. Don't let it hold you back. Don't be the worst enemy of yourself. The biggest enemy. Don't do that to yourself. You deserve better. You deserve a life, a beautiful life, a luxurious life, an easy life, a life that flows effortlessly. Fuck the struggle. You deserve ease. You deserve rest. You deserve luxury. You deserve abundance. You deserve joy, happiness, and peace. All of that. And of course, you deserve fucking love. Unconditional love, free love, genuine love. You deserve it all, baby. But first, you must be willing to not only give it to yourself, but allow yourself to receive it. Give yourself permission to receive it and experience it and have it, and know that you are deserving and worthy as fuck, and you are more than enough. So free yourself from feeling like you have to be perfect, or you have to be doing something, or there's more that is needed from you, right? Allow yourself to simply just be and to simply just breathe. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope that this inspired somebody today, tonight, this afternoon, wherever you are listening in the world. May this serve as an inspiration to help you free yourself and from others, and from this bullshit ass dream that they try to paint for us. Follow your own dream deep within you, deep within your heart. What is it that you desire? Follow that, and don't let anything or anyone hold you the fuck back, including yourself, because your reflection and your relationship with yourself and the love you have for yourself, that foundation is what's important, and that's what matters most. So I love y'all. That's all I have for y'all. Have a beautiful fucking week, and I will see y'all, or y'all will hear from me next week. Much love, and as always, life is as beautiful as you allow it to be. Make the best of it. That's not how I usually end this, but life is as beautiful as you allow it to be. Self-awareness and perspective is key. So choose wisely, beautiful souls. Much love. Peace.